Hey everyone, welcome back to Launch Codes Football. My name is Chris.
And I'm Chelsea, and I almost said Colt, which is like my internet persona. Don't know why I almost said that, but I'm
Excuse me.
Chelsea.
Excuse me, you are a cult? That's kind of
Yeah,
concerning.
an Indianapolis Colt.
All right, we're ending the episode here. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. I'm kidding. But either way, welcome back. We're going to be discussing week 10 of the NFL. Chelsea, how you doing today? You feeling good?
Feeling pretty good. We beat the Jaguars, which is what I expected. It was considerably more anxiety inducing than it needed to be. But as I have been finding over the last 5 to 7 years, pretty much every game we play against Jacksonville is anxiety inducing because they always play us well. But here we are. All three phases of the game showed up in at least one part of the game, and that's the reason we won. So shout out to Zaire Franklin on the special teams for blocking the punt and getting the touchdown.
Yeah,
He
I
either
was like,
got the touchdown or blocked it. He didn't do both, but he did do one, and both of those are important. So shout out to him.
yeah, shout out to the Colts for continuing to make Chelsea's prediction of, starting out bad and then
This is what
them
I'm
turning it
saying,
around.
guys. This is what I'm saying. I said, and I quote, we always start out the year awful. We lose our first game. What did we do? We lost our first game. What did we do? We went 1-4 in our first 5 games. You know what we are now? 5-5. So you guys can fight me.
Well, if you want to fight Chelsea in the comments, respectfully, more than welcome to. But
respectfully, please. I'm a sensitive person.
no, we just don't appreciate toxicity. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So let's first talk about Washington beating out Tampa Bay. Now, this was definitely one of the biggest upsets of this week. Everyone thinking, you know what, Tampa Bay may have lost to New Orleans. Tom Brady may have thrown a pick six to end the game, but he's not gonna play bad twice, or he's not gonna do that again. And while he didn't do that, let me tell you, as one of the announcers put it at halftime, Brady played one of his worst first halves he's played in a decade. He was not good. And in this game, he threw two picks, and the Bucs had three turnovers, one of them on a very odd fumble, but a very good play by the Washington defense there. Washington also, to end this game off, just when you think Brady is going to do his thing and come back, Washington goes on a 10-minute drive to end the game. They go, how do you drive for 10 minutes? I mean, it's definitely doable, but a 10-minute drive, there was still a lot of time left in this fourth quarter, and they just kept converting third down after third down
They were
after
like,
third down.
bet.
And so that just ate the clock away. And then they go and score a touchdown with Antonio Gibson with only 30 seconds left to put the game away. That is masterful offense, in my opinion.
Shout out to Riverboat Ron.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen him do that before, Ron Rivera. So, I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that of all coaches, he could do it. But I was just impressed. I think that, hey, we're not going to give the GOAT the ball back. We're not going to let him go make a clutch play. If he doesn't have the ball, he can't be the GOAT. So honestly, really impressive win by Washington, in my opinion here. Only thing I say they really screwed up on was they grabbed, oh my goodness. Mike Evans' helmet at the end. They grabbed his face mask, and instead of going into the locker room with Tampa Bay only scoring 3 points, they ended up scoring 6 out of it. Kind of a nitpick. I mean, they ended up winning the game, but that could have been huge, looking back at the end there. So other than that, I think Washington played pretty well. And yeah, Chelsea, what do you think of this game? Pretty big upset.
No, I mean, this was incredibly surprising. I don't think there was any major talking head on TV who actually thought that the Bucs were going to lose to Washington. Like, not to discredit Washington, like they have some good players on their team and they can definitely win some games, but like Heineke against Brady, like I wouldn't take Heineke, and I'm a Colts fan, so that's saying something. Yeah, Brady looked bad, which we're just not used to seeing. I'm sure all of those talking heads will come out during the week. That'll be like, oh my gosh, Tom Brady had a bad game. Is this the end? Because, that always happens. Obviously, it won't be the end because we're in the middle of the season. But no, I mean, this was incredibly surprising. I mean, I don't think anyone expected this. And for Washington to end the game with a 10-minute drive, I mean, we rarely even see 10-minute drives to begin with in Major League Football in National League Football. So, I mean, for them to do that and absolutely refuse to give Tom Brady the ball back under any circumstance, it was impressive. I mean, even during this game, the Bucs lost, or not the Bucs, Washington, they lost Chase Young to a season-ending knee injury before the game was even over. And they still managed to beat Brady without arguably their best player on their entire team. So, I mean, no, this was incredibly surprising. It was nice to see Tom Brady lose. I'm sure most of the NFL was like, woohoo, Tom Brady lost. Let's go. I know I was. This also gives me hope as a Colts fan because we play the Bucs in 2 weeks and the Bucs look bad. And I don't understand why, because they won the Super Bowl with literally this exact roster last year and they dominated everyone. So I don't understand what's going on. I mean, I know they have some injuries, but their defense can't do anything. I mean, they had some injuries on offense, I believe, but normally that doesn't matter. I mean, normally Tom Brady's enough, right? But he wasn't. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the Bucs, honestly, especially losing after a bye. I don't think anyone picked Tom Brady to lose after a bye. I don't even know how many times that's happened in his entire career. Probably not that many. But I don't know, Chris, did you see that Bruce Arians chewed out Tom Brady in his post-game conference? He was like, yeah, Tom Brady played bad. It's his fault. And all the reporters were like, you did not say that. Dude, it was scary. And then Tom Brady was like on the podium. He said like one thing, smiled, and walked right off. I feel bad for the team that has to play the Bucs this week because not only are you going to have an angry Bruce Arians, you're also going to have an angry Tom Brady, and that's the worst kind of Brady to play.
Yeah, Tom Brady's going to come in motivated and ready to kick some butt in this next game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they play the Giants on.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So we will see kind of what happens there. They're playing them on Monday Night Football, so the nation will be able to watch if Brady can really turn this around.
So many super exciting Monday Night Football games this year, huh?
I know,
Bucs
right?
versus the Giants. Who is scheduling these games? Seriously.
It's all because of fan bases, They try to look at the markets. But anyways, yeah, Brady, I don't think, okay, there were certain things like definitely the fumble, the 3 turnovers weren't all him, but there was definitely one pick that was all Brady. Like, I don't know what the heck he was throwing to. Now, I want to say this though, if Bruce
Maybe
Arians,
he saw ghosts like Sam Darnold.
Well, either way, I kind of think like, you can't blame this game completely on him. Yes, he had a bad game.
Absolutely not.
I mean, but also the defense let up a 10-minute drive to seal the game.
To Washington. Not like a good team like the Bills or the Titans or the Cardinals or the Cowboys. No. Washington. NFC East bottom feeders. How do you even let that happen? You have a Super Bowl roster that you literally had last year that is now doing this. I don't get it.
I don't know, but either way, the offense, I think they did a good job. I mean, they've got definitely some good pieces on there, and they've got good receivers like Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, they're not completely awful, but they're still Washington, Yeah.
And so I just kind of think this game, it was a weird game, not going to lie. But, either way, great win by Washington. We'll have to see if they can continue their momentum and if Tampa Bay can correct it on Monday Night Football. But the next topic we got here is we're going to talk about the Rams being upset by the 49ers. This was, the 49ers just came in and stomped the Rams. Can we just acknowledge that this game ended up being 31-10? And I'm pretty sure after the Rams getting Von Miller and Odell Beckham, not too long ago, people were thinking, all right, these guys are going to come in, they're going to play really well, and the Rams are going to be even better. No, they came out, scored a touchdown to start, and then the 49ers just kind of steamrolled them through the game. The Rams started getting desperate, even running a fake with Johnny Hecker in a pointless situation, in my opinion, because they wanted to, right before the end of the first half, put up a touchdown. But the problem is they were so far back that running a field goal fake would probably not have scored them a touchdown, would have gave them a first down with not even that much time to run more plays. And so it was just not the time to fake it there. I think McVay or whoever called that, it wasn't a good play. You got to take your points there, in my opinion. And so either way, this game was ugly for the Rams and great for the 49ers. Deebo Samuel having a good game. Garoppolo probably pretty happy after being, a lot of people are not very high on him. So to come out and win a game like this against, in my opinion, still a good Rams team, that's got to be nice for the 49ers. So I don't know, Chelsea, what did you think of this game?
Well, naturally, we're seeing people online asking if Matt Stafford is actually the quarterback the Rams need. Yes, he's the quarterback the Rams need. Chill out, internet. I will make this point. The Rams have no running game. They really don't. Last I checked, they were worse than 25th in the running rankings. I believe, don't quote me, the last time that I saw it, they were 31st. And somehow they still have one of the best teams. So can we just take a second to imagine what the Rams would be like if they had a Jonathan Taylor or an Alvin Kamara or a Christian McCaffrey or whatever, right? If they had solid, viable running game. I mean, even if they had the guy that they lost, to his season-ending injury, even if they had him. I mean, defenses know that the Rams are one-dimensional. They just do. Like, Darrell Henderson is a good back, but the reality is, like, they know he's not Christian McCaffrey. They know he's not Ezekiel Elliott. They know he's not, Nick Chubb, whatever it may be. And they know that the Rams are going to throw the ball because that's just what they do, So it's kind of turned the Rams into a one-dimensional team. I mean, if you're a one-dimensional team, you're easier to beat, right? But no, the 49ers absolutely slapped the Rams. And if you're the Rams, this game has to absolutely infuriate you because you should not have lost this game to the 49ers. You are a significantly better team than the 49ers are. And you played like you weren't. And honestly, you deserve to lose, playing the way that you did. I think Louis Riddick on Monday Night Football said it best. Like, this team is chock full of superstars, of impact players, of guys who the league know are really good, But the reality of it is that the Rams aren't playing like a team. They're playing like a group of people that have a bunch of really good individual players that are all trying to make really good individual efforts instead of working cohesively together. Like, look at Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, he's been on the team, a week and a half? Did we really expect Odell to come out and replace Robert Woods and know the entire playbook and have a repertoire with Matt Stafford, who he's never played with in his entire career? No, like, those expectations are unrealistic. Like, yeah, he's a good player. And yeah, Matt Stafford is a good player. The reality is you can't teach chemistry. That's just not how it works. I mean, same thing with Von Miller. Von Miller's a really good player. Yes, he's at the tail end of his career, but he's still really good. He's never played with Aaron Donald. He's never played with Jalen Ramsey. Like, he wasn't going to just fit right into that defensive line and make an automatic impact with zero mistakes. Like, the dude just joined the team 2 weeks ago. Same thing. I mean, do people really expect him to learn the entire playbook in 2 weeks? Because if they do, that's unrealistic. It just is. So, I mean, until the Rams start playing like a team, we might see more losses like this. But the moment that they do start playing like a team, they're going to be really hard to stop.
I can agree with that. I mean, I definitely think losing Robert Woods does hurt them because he's been a guy that's
It's a
been there with
bigger
so
impact
long.
than they think.
Yeah. Then a lot of fans actually thought because immediately a lot of people were like, oh, Odell Beckham will just step up in there. Now, it's not saying
Not
Odell
that he
Beckham can't.
can't.
Yeah, it's not saying that he can't, but the problem is Robert Woods has been there for a long time. He knows the system, he knows the coaches, he knows what they do. Odell Beckham has just arrived there. He's not going to just start hitting off like you said. You know, they'll give him some easy routes, you know, but the more complicated stuff there, that's not going to be him just yet. And I do agree with you. Like, I think what this shows fans is that just because you sign a superstar doesn't mean that they're immediately going to be good. I believe that they can adapt and be better, but just because you sign them doesn't mean that they're just going to automatically make everything better and things will just go perfectly fine from the get-go, because they probably won't. These things take time. But once the Rams do figure that out with these two guys, with Von Miller and with Odell Beckham, and with you know, just kind of I don't know, just once they get everything together, I think it'll be a good team, and I think that they can be Super Bowl winning team. But right now, I don't know. It's just, I don't know why they lost this game. It fascinates me. I mean, the 49ers, credit to them, but you got to win this game if you're the Rams. You can't be embarrassed like this. You shouldn't be blown out. Most games in the NFL, a lot of them go down to the wire. You should at least go down to the wire. You shouldn't be getting shellacked like they were on Monday Night Football. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. And just, I don't know. It's a disappointing performance if you're a Rams fan, but great for the 49ers. This has to feel good for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, let's continue talking about the NFC, right? How about Cam Newton returning to the hometown team, huh? I feel like I just can't take the lead on this one. I feel like this is more of a you thing, Chris, considering Cam Newton is your guy. So why don't you just go ahead with this one?
All right. So Cam Newton, literally like right after we post our episode last week, can we just acknowledge that? Right after we post our episode, like the next day, Cam Newton gets signed to the Carolina Panthers. He is re-signed. And honestly, this like,
how dare the Panthers not work around our podcasting schedule?
I know they got like Matt Barkley when we were doing our podcasting.
This is not
schedule.
newsworthy material, guys. Come on.
Exactly. How are we going to get clicks if the Panthers are not signing off of our schedule? Anyway, all right. Cam Newton returns here. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you guys don't follow the Panthers or follow kind of what's gone on, you have to realize what this return meant for so many fans. Literally, they blew up when they saw Cam Newton returning, because I gotta be real. When Sam Darnold has been our starting quarterback, fans have been nothing but angry and upset and depressed. And to some extent, I don't blame them. I don't agree. You know, I don't think obviously leaving a ton of hate comments is going to fix anything, but I understand the frustration. It felt like our coaching staff was just putting blind faith and hope in Sam Darnold. And I mean, even the Falcons game, the last game they won before this past one, they were hiding Sam Darnold in a lot of ways. He only threw for like 130 yards, and that was actually one of his better games, and where people were like, good, because we kept running the ball with Amir Abdullah and Chuba Hubbard. But now Christian McCaffrey comes back against the Patriots. We think, all right, this is a beatable team. Sam Darnold comes out and has a terrible performance. So then the Panthers realize, and also Sam Darnold goes on IR. That was a big part of this too. So basically now the Panthers have signed Cam Newton for the rest of this year for up to $10 million, but $4 million guaranteed. PJ Walker, though, was the starting quarterback for this game against Arizona, and he actually didn't play bad. You know, PJ did his thing. He didn't play fantastic. He definitely made some pretty big mistakes, and he threw something that should have been a pick probably, but lucky for him, the defender dropped it. But either way, I think he did a solid job. And now Cam is back, as he let everybody know on TV when he ran it in for his first touchdown. Let me tell you, that was something special because, you know, honestly, the way he left was unfortunate. And the way he kind of, once the new coaching staff came in, they just kind of, they let him go immediately. So to see him back, see him smiles, see the team so excited. I mean, you saw Christian McCaffrey doing Lord knows what kind of dance on the side. Christian McCaffrey doesn't even dance like that. I just want to kind of acknowledge he's not big on dancing, but like when when Cam got in the end zone, you just saw like the whole team was so excited. There's a sideline video of Cam just on his knee, like talking to a lot of these guys on the team. They follow him and they respect him. And he hasn't played with most of them. He's played with a few, but not all of them. But these guys want to follow somebody. And I think even if Cam isn't like at his MVP form, his energy, you can tell like it's spread through the whole team, and it resulted in them beating the Cardinals 34-10. It was rough. It was a rough day for the Cardinals. Now I know Colt McCoy was their starting quarterback instead of Kyler Murray, and DeAndre Hopkins was out definitely. But Colt McCoy actually had a good game the week before, and he played, he made the Arizona Cardinals have a good offense, but he did go out with injury later in the game. McCoy did. So I don't know. This is a big deal for a lot of Panther fans. And in my opinion, it kind of shows that the Panthers are aware. They're not blind. They are aware that they need a quarterback to win in this league, and that they are trying to do what it takes to work with that. Now, the Panthers are paying now $60 million in quarterbacks alone to two guys who aren't currently playing. One's playing for Denver, Teddy Bridgewater. One's on IR, Sam Darnold. And so now it's kind of wild, but so this is a pretty special return in my opinion. And I think this could help propel the team to be, who knows if they'll be in the playoffs. They have a tough schedule coming up, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think the team has been reinvigorated and they're ready for the rest of their season.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a special moment for the state of North Carolina and South Carolina. I mean, I saw on Twitter when he re-signed, they put him up on the giant sign at Bank of America Stadium and was like, he's back. And it was just like him like doing the Superman thing, because that's just what he's known for. So I'm kind of on the outside looking in on this, right? Because I cheer for the Panthers. I enjoy the Panthers, but everyone knows where my loyalties lie, right? And it's not with the Panthers. So first of all, I think that this was a great signing, not only because Cam Newton is considerably better than every other quarterback on your roster right now, but he revitalized your entire fan base in one day. What other player outside of maybe Luke Kuechly, if he returned, would be able to do that? What player in the NFL would be able to do that? I mean, this city loves Cam Newton like nothing else. Even if he's bad, they still love him. I am learning with the return of Cam Newton that you can't really debate whether or not Cam Newton is actually a good quarterback, who in my opinion had one superb season and everything else was just kind of mediocre, at least for his passing. So, but I'm learning that, I can't really debate that because this is Carolina's moment and Cam Newton is obviously going to carry the Carolina Panthers to the Super Bowl. So obviously I can't be the one to debate that because Cam Newton fixes every single problem that the Panthers have, obviously. But no, I mean, talk about a re-signing that just, I mean, your fan base went from dead and angry to revitalized and more excited than I've honestly seen them in years in one day. That is impressive. That is impressive. I mean, let's consider this. Even if Cam Newton plays mediocre, this is still a great signing because of what it does for the box office. Right? My coworker was looking up Panthers tickets Before Cam Newton signed, they were $75 for the middle sections, right? The average, the sections, that are pretty good. Not like the nosebleeds, not, the sideline, but, right in the middle. You know what they are now? $135. You know why they're $135? Because Cam Newton is back. They know that they can charge more money because when the Panthers come back to Carolina and they bring Cam Newton with him, everyone is about to show up. Everyone in both Carolinas. That stadium would not surprise me if that stadium sold out. Like, the Panthers might not even win. Doesn't matter. Cam Newton's back. So even if he doesn't play great, that's like statistically, it's still a great re-signing because now the fan base actually cares about their team. And they might honestly need that more than anything else. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I've been in discussions with Panthers fans like, oh, like, yeah, he's back. That's awesome. His 2 touchdowns. So cool. Him yelling he's back. Oh man, as an NFL fan, you just love to see that, right? But like, yes, he's better than every other quarterback that you have on your roster. Yes, he is an amazing runner and ran through like 4 people on that one play. Only a couple of quarterbacks in the league can do that, right? But if there are people that think that Cam Newton is going to fix every single problem that this offense has, I hate to break it to you, but that is just not the case. Cam Newton is good in his own way, right? He's a good quarterback. He's a good runner. He revitalizes the city. But let me just remind Carolina Panther fans where Cam was last year, right? He was in New England. He started the whole year, basically, right? And obviously, Cam Newton doesn't fit in anywhere as well as he fits in Carolina. So let's preface that with this, right? Cam Newton was 8 touchdowns for 10 interceptions. If this quarterback was anyone but Cam Newton who had this stat line and was brought into Carolina, people would be angry. The only reason that they are not angry is because it's Cam Newton and they love him and he's obviously going to take them to the Super Bowl, right? Like, let's just be realistic. Like, Cam Newton is over 30. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns last year, but he does have good offense. He has Robbie and DJ and Christian and Tommy, and he has them all. And he is going to put them to work like no one else this year has, because he just can do that in this town. That's just how it is. But
like no one else has. Sorry, that was funny.
If anyone tries to seriously convince me that Cam Newton has been a top 10 quarterback for any year outside of his MVP season, I'm not going to believe you. I'm not, like 2018, he was 24 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. If it was anyone but Cam Newton, we'd be calling them mediocre. Let's just be honest, right? 22-16 in 2017, not good. 19-14 in 2016, also not good. 18-12, 24-13, 19-12, and 21-17 outside of his MVP years. Now, let's be realistic. That is above average. I mean, a lot of guys, will throw more interceptions than they will touchdowns. Cam Newton is not the long-term solution to fixing the Panthers. He's not the long-term solution to carrying the Panthers for multiple years because he's over 30. Like, come on. But obviously, I love seeing him right now. I'm not even a true Panthers fan, and it revitalized me. And I mean, I don't even have that much invested in them, So, like, I love to see it. And he's better than every other quarterback you have. But the reality is, he's still average to slightly above average, and that's not enough to be a viable starting quarterback who can carry your team into a deep playoff run. But he is still good. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying everyone that tries to make him out to be one of the best quarterbacks, like, I know you guys are excited, and I love that excitement. But guys, let's not lose our logic. But as I was saying, great move for the Panthers. Scores 2 touchdowns. It's going to be starting this week. I believe they'll be at home. Am I correct? Are they playing at home this week?
Yes, they are at home. So
okay, so the stadium's going to be sold out. The city is going to be electric.
Actually,
if I could go to the game, I would.
fun fact. So, little personal thing is, so my mom told me like, hey, you should surprise dad I'll buy y'all Panther tickets. And this was like 2 months ago. And then we decided, all right, we'll go to the Washington game. It was fairly cheap. And, I was like, well, Washington's not that good for me. I like to see like bigger matchups, but I was like, all right, well, whatever. I was thinking about going to the Patriots one. Incredibly glad I didn't pick that one because it was more expensive and it was a bad game for Carolina. But basically, I picked the Washington one. And then like last week found out, they signed Cam Newton. I kid you not. Chelsea, you said the tickets are $130 each it's 160 now. Me
Doesn't
and my
surprise
dad
me.
got them for $80 before the fees.
Bro.
And for like
What?
much better seats. And I'm just like, LOL. So
dude, you'll be there.
I will be there. And I'm incredibly
you will have
excited
to live stream on Instagram from the game while you're there. You have to.
We'll see. I'll try to get some
like
clips.
5 minutes. Just like hold your camera up for like 5 minutes and then put it away because obviously the game's more important. But like I said, I mean, even that response, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were disappointed about going to a mediocre matchup, and now you're completely electric about going because Cam Newton is back, right? It doesn't even matter if Cam Newton doesn't play good, right?
Yeah.
All that matters is that he's there. And that is what has revitalized this team. Honestly, Cam Newton is the healthiest right now that he's been in a long time, honestly. So if he's going to do good anywhere, it's going to be right now with Carolina while he's healthy in the place that he is familiar with. And for his sake, I hope he does. I want to see it. I want to see him do well. I do. I just don't want everyone to forget that he might not be the savior that he's painted out to be, because statistically speaking, he just isn't. But that doesn't mean he's bad. The dude is going to go off against Washington. It's going to be Cam Newton versus Ron Rivera. Who will win? His old coach or him? Who will win? Christian McCaffrey or Antonio Gibson? Like, come on. That's so fun. I guarantee it's going to be a highly viewed game on TV as well. Like, it's just exciting. It's good for the NFL. When Cam Newton is with Carolina, it's just good for the NFL, you know?
He does bring people to watch. That was actually something I noticed, when you're around here, like the Panthers are not a big market team, but
they are
like,
not, just like the Colts.
But like when he got re-signed to Carolina, I mean, there was everybody commenting on this. Like everybody was talking about this, like all around the nation. LeBron James was tweeting about it. I'm just like, what the heck? Like, when were we known for like anything? But that shows you what kind of attention he does bring. That's what happens when you win a championship with Auburn, win an MVP, and pretty much be the face of a franchise for about a decade. So I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Positive publicity back to Carolina. And in this Sam Darnold ridden season, that is exactly what they needed. This is a great move by Carolina.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I do want to just give a really quick shout out. We'll move on just a second, but I just want to give a quick shout out to Hassan Reddick for playing in this game against the Cardinals. And, this was his old team last year. And he was like, this is going to be a revenge game. And everyone talks about the Cam, like, I'm back moment. It's really great. Don't get me wrong. But like just a couple plays before that, who set that up? Hassan Reddick getting a strip sack fumble on his old team. Like, first drive of the game, 3 plays into the whole game. And I'm just like, man, Hassan Reddick has been a fantastic signing for Carolina. And you really got to wonder, man, like, I mean, Arizona is doing fine without him. They've been fine, but
yeah, they're doing all right, I guess.
Yeah, 8-2, just meh.
Yeah,
but anyways, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to that because I feel like not enough people have mentioned that. That was a big deal for him.
True.
So, but
one more thing I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
Did you know that news broke, like when Carolina re-signed Cam and everything? Apparently, the Panthers wanted to sign him to a 2-year deal. Now, I don't know how valid this is. It may not actually be true, but I got a headline about it. Apparently, Carolina wanted to sign him to a 2-year deal to begin with. You know what Cam Newton wanted? More years than that. He wanted at least 3 years. So you know what? They compromised on 1 year. You know what that tells me? they've given up on Sam Darnold. Because if they're trying to sign Cam Newton off the streets to a multi-year deal, that means Sam Darnold is done. Imagine being Sam Darnold in not California, in whatever it's called, Carolina. Imagine being Sam Darnold right now. You're probably sitting on your couch at home with your family going, well, that was nice while it lasted. So yeah, I don't know how valid that information is, but I did see a headline. And if that headline indeed is true, that means they've given up on Sam Darnold, which is really unfortunate considering they already signed him to another year. Really good financial decision making right there. But yeah, so I don't know if you knew that, but I saw a headline about it.
I haven't heard of that. I don't know 100% if that's true. I know they did come to terms with the deal they have now, and Scott Fitterer, the GM for Carolina, talked about it and said they're not. He was asked about the future of Cam and he said, we're not there to talk about it yet. And I think that's completely fair. So we'll see. And they said, we got to do something with Sam, and which I find also very interesting. And I don't know what they'll do with Sam. They could keep him because I don't really think anybody's going to trade for him, especially with the cap hit that he has on him. But maybe the Jets will take him back, right? Wouldn't that be a Jets move?
Who's better, him or Zach Wilson?
Mike White, obviously. He said he was supposed to be the number one pick of 2018.
Yeah, Mike White carried the Jets to their win, and then the whole league was talking about him the week that they played the Colts, and then the Colts destroyed them on offense. Our defense played terrible and they still managed to put up 30 points, and he did get injured, but we absolutely destroyed the Jets offensively. And the whole league was like, LOL, never mind.
Well, really, this last game, I think, sealed it with the 4 picks by Mike White against the Bills. But either way, we'll see what happens. But let's go ahead and move on to the game pick section. So this week, the 3 games that we've chosen. So let's first talk about the Dolphins at Jets. Now, a lot of people are like, this is not a marquee matchup. Why do you want to do this? I want to do this because I think these are 2 teams that they don't have great records right now. But my thought is, okay, let's make this interesting to talk about, because sometimes with the big marquee matchups, it's easy to just get one-sided and be like, all right, this is who I think is going to win. So I just wanted to talk about these 2 teams, Dolphins at Jets. Personally, I'm going to go with the Dolphins. They've been on a bit of a win streak, and I think that if they can get some things right, Tua's not a bad quarterback, but they were willing to jump ship with him for Deshaun. I mean, Deshaun is a proven top 5 when he's healthy and in the game, so it's kind of hard to blame them on that. But I definitely think that Dolphins need to give Tua more of a chance. They need to commit to supporting to him, because I think that if they do, he could end up being pretty good for them. He's not even that bad. So I'm just like, we'll see where they go, but I think that the Dolphins will take this game over the Jets, who have they've been the Jets. They've just not looked good. There's no getting past that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well, though I will say that the Jets do have some glimmers of hope. I mean, Michael Carter from UNC that they took, right? He's looked pretty good. I have him on my fantasy team. He's dropped at least 3 to 5 10-point or more games. So, I mean, they might have, a long-term starting running back there. I mean, you look at the guy that they took from Ole Miss, right? The receiver. Dude, he's kind of been showing up. They might have a wide receiver 1 in Elijah Moore. So I do think that this team has hope. I don't think they have hope at the quarterback position, but I think that at some of their other offensive positions, they definitely do. And their defense has played some really good teams tough. Some really good teams. So, I mean, I think that there are things to be excited about if you're a Jets fan, but ultimately, I think that you need a quarterback to be able to win. And right now, you just don't have one. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
All right. So next game, we've got Cowboys at Chiefs. This is a big national TV game, and I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think the Chiefs are good. And who knows, maybe they've turned it around after Sunday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes looking like his normal self again. No interceptions and like 5 touchdowns. And that was pretty good. And I don't think the Raiders are even that bad. So I think that while this is kind of a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the Cowboys on this. They have a very balanced offensive attack. They have a pretty good defense. And they bounced back. They showed, what, we may have lied down and died to Denver, but ended up beating the Falcons by 40 points, 43-3. That doesn't happen. That's like when Alabama last week played New Mexico State. That's the kind of score you expect. But 43-3 in the NFL, that's crazy. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I know games don't always transfer. The Cowboys got beat real bad the week before they won by 40. So who knows what can happen. But I do think that this could be a close one. This could be a really fun offensive shootout. Look out for this on fantasy because this could be a pretty big deal. But I do think the Cowboys overall are a better team.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys as well, but it would not surprise me if the Chiefs won this game. I don't know if them having one good game against the Raiders is enough to completely 180 turn their season in the direction that they want to go, especially coming off that game to play arguably one of the best teams in the league. So I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I think that the Chiefs will make it competitive. If they can keep up what they started against Las Vegas, I think that they could keep it competitive, and it honestly wouldn't surprise me if they won. Like if the Chiefs play the way we know they can play, they can beat anyone, So it wouldn't surprise me if they won, but ultimately I do have more trust in the Cowboys right now just because they've been consistent pretty much all season outside of 1 or 2 games. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys as well.
All right. And then we've got the last game we've got here, Bengals at Raiders. Well, the Bengals have been struggling recently. Joe Burrow has a lot of picks, but I still think he's a good quarterback. And if he can cut down on the interceptions, it could really help their team. And I think the Bengals are still rebuilding. I think next year's really the tried and true year to see whether or not their rebuild is going to pay off. So I think, though, that the Bengals will take this. The Raiders have just been, their team has been through a lot, and it's going to be really hard for them to be good through this year. If they are, great. But when you have 3 big controversies like they've had against like significant parts of your team too, that's tough to recover from. And so I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other direction on this one. I'm going to pick the Raiders. I think they're going to get a big bounce back win, a big team building win against a struggling Bengals team. I don't think that the Bengals are terrible, right? I think that they're probably average right now, maybe slightly above average, which honestly is a lot of teams in the AFC right now. So that's not really a diss. I mean, a lot of teams look like that. But ultimately, I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think that they are a more talented team, and I do think that they're going to be wanting to win real bad after coming off of that loss at home against the Chiefs, which was totally embarrassing for them. So yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Bengals made it competitive. I mean, Jamar Chase is a rookie of the year candidate, so he could definitely go off. But like you said, Joe Burrow has to cut down the interceptions. No one's saying he's a bad quarterback, but they might be saying it in a few years if he keeps throwing this many interceptions. So we'll see. But ultimately, I'm going to take the Raiders on this one.
All right. And that's pretty much it for our game picks. So Chelsea, you want to lead us in our outro?
Sure. So thanks for listening, guys. Tune back in next Wednesday for more content. In the meantime, follow us on Twitter at LCFootball _LCFootball_. And on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Launch Codes Football. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Chris.
And we will see you next week.
See you guys next time.
Later.